Hey everyone, it's Mario. Thanks for joining me. Well, the day has come. I am going to put the GoWISE USA 5.8 quart 1700 watt air fryer against the Costco Gourmia $50 air fryer at only 5 quarts and 1500 watts. Stick around, let's see what happens. Okay, I know a lot of you are going to want me to start and just go right into it and start cooking with these two, but this is like a present for me, to myself. So we're going to unbox this and go through the parts and do a slow comparison between the two, and then we'll get started. Seems to be packed fairly well. Okay, here we go. And just so we get a better idea of what's going on here, well, we put the GoWISE USA right next to it. As you can see, they're about the same size. The GoWISE is just a slight bit taller, not much, maybe by about an inch. The Gourmia, you can see the basket here, the lines are a little bit lower, indicating the smaller basket. Standard power cord, it does not store in the back. That's one thing we see here. Let's pull out the tray. Let's remove the tape here. Now let's pull out this tray. This is lightweight. And the GoWISE tray is probably a good twice as heavy. Okay, take out the cardboard here. And the Gourmia includes a wire rack. For $50 you are getting a wire rack as well. And this is actually pretty good. Now, I have one of these already because I bought the GoWISE kit, but basically there's a high and a low rack. This does not appear to come with the skewers to make you know, like shish kebabs. They're just including as that, but you can get the wooden kebab skewers and use that. So that's a nice addition. I think this alone probably is like a $5 item. You have a cookbook and a manual here. And let's do a basket comparison here. Now we look at my GoWISE basket. It's pretty beat up over the past year. I haven't treated it well recently, but basically when you want to disconnect the pan from the basket, you press this button and it disconnects. And part of the biggest issue is a failure of the button assembly, and I have a video on how to fix that. I'll post that in the corner here. So you see, you shake it up, it goes back in. The Gourmia has a different design. It is not disconnectable, which is, I'm going to say, good and bad. The goods, there's no way you're going to have a problem with a disconnect on here. It's not going to accidentally disconnect. And here is your tray. So what Gourmia decided to do here is just give you this thin tray here with the holes in it, versus GoWISE giving you a whole basket, and that's where the cut down in price is. And the pan itself on the Gourmia has all the vent holes in it all around, and probably less than an inch off the bottom here. I could see that as being good and bad, and I'm going to explain that to you in a second. Now the GoWISE, technically you can operate this without the basket. You could just put the pan in there and do whatever. I think I've only done that once. But this will contain oils and juices pretty well, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. With the Gourmia, you don't have a pan underneath, so you want to make sure when you're shaking this up, or you're tilting it, or whatever the case may be, you don't tilt it too much, because then you're going to be leaking juices everywhere. And I suspect that this will be a lot easier to deal with, to clean with. It does feel a little on the thin side, dare I say chinsy, so you probably don't want to use too much flex on this. And it's got these little silicone caps here that keep it secure in the air fryer without rattling around. My concern will be how easy these will come off, and I worry about losing them. So it doesn't look like they included any extras, but that would be my first concern. But it looks like you could just easily toss this in the dishwasher, both pieces for that matter. I have never thrown my GoWISE basket and pan in the dishwasher. I have always cleaned those by hand. And then you use this to pull out like a little handle. I'm not sure how I feel about that uneven surface, things falling in there kind of thing, and maybe making it a little harder to clean. Okay, let's put this back in there. Now let's compare the basket sizes.
So this is the 5.8 quart GoWISE, which is also similar to the GoWISE and some of the other ones out there. This is the Gourmia, which is more round. And the side-to-side dimensions are about the same. The GoWISE, though, as you might be able to see here, is a little deeper. And that is by design, because this is only a 5 quart versus 5.8. And then the cooking heights, I believe I saw in here somewhere. The maximum full line is right here on the Gourmia. And on the GoWISE, it's close to the top as well. So if we put those side by side with each other, they are about the same height, but the raised tray in here does give that a little deception. So you're probably talking about an inch difference in height with these two units. Now here's something you haven't seen me use in a while. I still do use them, but you probably never see me use them in videos anymore. In the 5.8 quart, this fits really, really well. The edges wing up just a little bit because it's deeper more than it is wider. And with the Gourmia, it fits in there pretty good. They do have 7-inch liners, but I believe the 7-inch would be too short, to be honest with you. And one other thing I did want to point out is the size of the elements. The GoWISE one is considerably bigger, and they're more condensed. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coils, and the Gourmia has 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this is 1700 watts. This is 1500 watts. There's also a larger fan in the GoWISE. And while I have a hard time getting my hand on it, comparing the two, they're about the same gauge, thickness, steel. Obviously my GoWISE is pretty dirty, but looking underneath here, they're actually very similar in design. Okay, so first things first, we are going to wash the new air fryer out. We're going to wipe down the outside, make sure that there's no oils from the factory that they may use to preserve any of the materials. And then we're going to prep our first food to cook in both of these units. I've always said the first things, that the best and the easiest thing to do in an air fryer is hand cut fries and chicken. So let's cut these up. Okay, got these cut up. Let's soak them for the required time and we'll be back. Okay, so the fries have soaked and they've been rinsed and patted dry, and now we're gonna oil them and season them. I haven't used vegetable oil to do French fries since I first got my air fryer. I've been doing it with olive oil since, but I want to do the vegetable oil again. I don't know why, but I just feel like it. Some pink Himalayan salt, some fresh ground peppercorn pepper, some granulated garlic. Picked up some smoked paprika, so I'm gonna toss a little bit of this in there. Not a lot, just a little sprinkle of it. Okay, let's stir this up. Alright. Okay, we got our fry seasons in 2 air baskets. Now you might see the tray behind there. I'm going to throw the Breville into the mix to make some fries as well. So first, let's spray our basket with Evo. Now there's typically a break-in period for these pans. You're supposed to, there's some rule of thumb that you put this in the air fryer, preheat it to 400 and let it sit there for 3 minutes. Then you rub it in with oil, put it back in for another 2 minutes, and then shut it down and let it stay. I'm not going to go through that today. I can do that after this. This is plenty of oil in here for now. So what I'm going to do is throw in a couple of chips, I guess you would call them, into each of these trays. Now just so you can get the idea here, we got 5 in each, and you can kind of see the spacing and the size difference between those two. Bada boom. And now to dump the fries in. I don't want to overfill these. I want them to cook as evenly as possible without overfilling them. And I like to crinkle fries because there's more surfaces to get the crisp edges and so forth. It's just preference. So I want to go over a couple of things. You'll plug this in. As you see the GoWISE, you can go through the fry setting and it shows you different pictures of shrimp, cake, meat, chicken, and whatnot. The Gourmia also has the same features on it. Now I noticed that the temperatures are mostly the same except for the cake, which is 320 on the Gourmia versus 350 on the GoWISE. So let's get this at 400 and start this up. We'll get this at 400 and start this up. That's defaulting to 15 minutes. It's a smaller basket, and we are going to include the Breville as well. I do want to mention one thing really important here. I actually have 3 circuits on these. These aren't running on any of the same circuits. The Breville is on a dedicated circuit. The GoWISE USA is on a dedicated circuit of its own. And this is on a 3rd circuit. It's not dedicated. However, the circuit only has some USB chargers and a couple of lights on it. And this is the lowest power unit at 1500 watts. So I think we're okay. We'll be back in about 6 minutes. Okay, it's been 6 minutes. Let's pull these down, take a look. In the GoWISE, you can see they're browning up a little bit there. I am going to be extra careful with the GoWISE and shake these up. They are sticking a little bit, so I am going to grab a spatula and just kind of loosen them up. Shake them up, but they're looking good. Next, we'll go with the Gourmia. And I have to say, this is light, and it's kind of like a treat almost because it's so light. They do look a little browner than the GoWISE. However, the cooking element is closer to the fries. That could be part of it. So let's get that back in there. And the Breville isn't anywhere close. Now I will say the GoWISE is a heck of a lot louder than the Gourmia. At least I thought that was the case. After this was on for about 4 minutes, I noticed it was a lot louder. This all of a sudden picked up the noise level, and regardless of the noise level, this thing is pushing a lot of heat out the back compared to the GoWISE. The GoWISE doesn't have as much. I don't know why, if that's part of the design or whatever. However, that is, something you have to be aware of. I pulled it forward more because I have some, spices and whatnot behind here, and I don't want the heat to affect those. And again, the GoWISE is just a heavier unit. And the difference between 15 and 1700 watts, I would not think that it would make that much difference in the weight. But this has the pan and the basket, and this has just the combo pan gasket, which is part of the weight reason. This is a little physically bigger overall. This has a bigger heating element, a bigger fan, probably a stronger motor on the fan, but it's something worth noting. Okay, 3 more minutes has passed, which gives us a total of 9 minutes. Let's take a look. GoWISE look pretty good, pretty crispy in there. The Gourmia are crispier. So what I'm going to do is let them sit for a few more seconds, cook up, and then we'll go from there. And by the way, the Breville is still nowhere near ready. Okay, 10 minutes has passed. Let's take a look. GoWISE, they look crispy. The Gourmia do look crispier. So let's get some of these in a plate. I'm gonna push these back a little bit without accidentally turning them on. I'm gonna get a couple of each in here. I'll tell you, I know I say this isn't as heavy duty feeling, but lifting up this lighter tray, it's a treat, I will say, after dealing with the GoWISE, the weight of that thing. Again, this isn't as heavy duty as a unit as the GoWISE. This is going to sound a little strange. Don't forget to unplug your multiple air fryers, folks. Okay, GoWISE, Gourmia. They both look good. What do you know? The Breville's beeping. And as usual, the Breville isn't ready. So, let's get started. Okay, here we go. I think those were the GoWISE, and these were the Gourmia. Now, they're going to taste the same. It's a matter of the crispiness for the time. GoWISE, crispy like I like them. The chip wasn't as crispy as the fry. Okay, that's GoWISE. Now let's test the Gourmia. Chip is crispy. Fry is also crispy. I'm going to try another chip from the GoWISE. It has some little pieces of crispiness in there. Gourmia. And this wasn't as crispy as the first chip I got from the Gourmia. But the smoked paprika
added a little nice taste to that. Breville here. Let's check some of those out, right? Gotta test them all, right? With the Breville right here, they went the full 12 minutes, and then on 12 minutes, and then I added a couple more minutes at 425. The chips do not look crispy at all. Even the paper thin fries on the Breville, they're not crispy. They're good. They're hot, but they're not crispy. So this is test number 1 with the fries. The GoWISE and the Gourmia both did a fantastic job. They both cooked in about the same time. Since I didn't use my Mandoline to slice the fries, they were all a little bit different in thicknesses. So I'm going to attribute that to the different textures and whatnot and the crispiness. They both did a great job. Here's the thing. When I bought this GoWISE USA, I paid $130 for it. Today you can get the GoWISE for $80 for the black one. The red one I think is $100, and the plum/purple color one is $75. That's pretty good, and that's the newer generation. The Gourmia, I picked it up for $50 in the store. Online it says $55. I don't know why the discrepancy's like that, but I know even Home Depot has that. If you buy something Home Depot online and return it in the store, they have to send it back to the online processing center. But the Gourmia for me, $50. And it came with this rack, so you can cook multiple things in there. It's unfortunate it didn't come with skewers, but again, you could pick up skewers. It just would have been a nice addition. But by no means is that, you know, a little thing. This is, again, probably a $5 item. I would have no problem recommending either one. I think the GoWISE is a really solidly built appliance. I've had it for a year. What have I done? 100 videos on it, maybe, and I abuse it, and it's fine. The Gourmia, obviously, it's too early to tell. If you don't mind spending the extra $30 for the GoWISE, I would have no issue with that. If you're looking to get into an air fryer and don't want to spend a ton of money, the Gourmia is a really good option so far. I've only tested fries. However, this is test number 1. I'm going to be putting out more videos, and in the next video I'll probably be doing some wings, and that's where the difference is going to come in, because if the height cooking differences were different, that would be one thing, but the Gourmia is also round, where the GoWISE is a little wider. So, you know, the GoWISE, I think I've fit in 10 wings broken up in there, no problem. The Gourmia, it's probably going to be, you know, obviously less than that. So anyway, if you have any suggestions on this little air fryer battle I got going on here, please mention it in the description, because I'm going to be cooking a bunch of things, and I really love it when people interact and say, can you try this, because I did that with the sauces. It worked out great. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. Hit the little notification bell so you know when I'm putting out a new video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.